Hello my friends, this is another Mars explosion video. To make a long story short, I just want to tell you that Mars was cracked open by the object that struck it, whether or not it was the entire comet that struck Mars or just a piece of the comet that struck Mars, or if some of the space programs missed with one of their nuclear weapons. They've been firing at all the stuff that's constantly flying at Mars and our Earth. Whatever struck Mars cracked it open like an egg. Alright, NASA continues to fail to show us updated pictures from the machines, the rolling machines that they have on the ground there. A lot of the stuff that NASA doesn't even tell the public about. They've got a whole lot more sophisticated stuff on Mars than they've been letting the public know about, my friends. They've got new rovers that they put out there and didn't tell us about that can see what an ant is chewing. That's how sophisticated and close its zoom lens can go in and look at some stuff at microscopic levels. I'm going to point out to you, I'm going to do what is called pinpointing. I'm going to point out to you that Mars was cracked open like an egg, that it also has a huge dent, a crater in it that was never before seen or reported by NASA to any of us in the public. That's right here on this, what I consider to be not very good quality space cameras that they share with the public, because they just share trash photos with us. And I call it trash photos because it's like giving crumbs to the people that NASA doesn't care much about us as the American public. Okay, they didn't warn us about all the dangers that are headed toward Earth. Russia, the country Russia was the only one who had a high enough morale to warn the American public about the asteroid that crashed into the Atlantic Ocean. They thought it was going to hit the FEMA region that's right there along the east coast of the United States, on in towards Tennessee and on back toward the middle of the country. We cannot rely on officials in government in Washington and NASA to warn us, the public, about what's really going on out there in space. We have to kind of piece together what we've got, because when something bad happens from the cosmos coming in, or something dangerous happens, like a bunch of meteors or asteroids or comets, what do? They're going to shut down the government, and they're going to go and run and hide in their little tunnels, and leave all of us up here to deal with the fury from the cosmos. My friends, I put some thought into this video before I showed it to you, okay? And I want you to understand that planet was cracked wide open by an energy surge that split Mars apart at the foundations and cracked it open. Now here's what we're going to show you. Right, this is a still frame right here. And I'm going to get it even closer. I'm going to get it even closer so you can see it even closer. Hold on for a minute. Let me pick it up. I'm just going to zoom in on it. There we go. Now it's bringing it up. Okay. Alright my friends, here we go. This is a still frame. There's a huge chunk that's been taken out of the planet over here. You can see the chunk right here. This is something about the size of Alaska, maybe even bigger than that. This chunk that's been taken right out of the side of the planet, right here where I'm pointing with this pin. So we want you to notice that this kind of damage done to a planet right here is huge. This is huge damage right here on Mars. Now, I'm going to be pointing with these pins, maybe pointing with two pins at the crack. We're talking about tectonic destruction. Something that's wider than the Grand Canyon, and possibly, who knows how deep it went into this planet. This is the crack right here that started to happen as all the energy rushed out of this comet right here into this planet. It rushed out into the planet and cracked it open like an egg. Down here is the other crack, my friends. This is not something usual that you'll see on Mars all the way through the whole entire planet like you're seeing it here. Now I'm going to run you through the actual explosion I'm not going to do it frame by frame. I'm just going to let it go through it and just point to what is happening with these huge planetary cracks from the top of the planet on down to the bottom. Now watch the planet. See the crack moves. The crack opened a bit, and then it sort of closed a little bit. Now there's the explosion. It's been struck, and you can still see the crack moving. It moves on both ends. It widens, and then it gets closer together again. So let's look at it again. Okay, here we go. Now I'm going to pause it right here. I'm going to pause that. Now you can see over here that as the explosion has rocked the planet, this side actually had what is called a tectonic shift, where the tectonic plates slid back together, and there's an indentation right here. I don't know if you can see it really close with this this video. I'm videoing a video, so I don't know if you're going to be able to see it real close, but right here there's a tectonic shift, and there's an actual implosion right here when the two plates struck back together and made a dent right here. This up here is another part where the crack widened, and right here you can see some of this structure here was affected so violently that it kind of crumbled and made it look even worse for damage right here at this huge crater that's right here in the side of this planet. Now none of that was going on with Mars before, and in this video I'm telling you the brutal, with brutal honesty, Mars got effed up. No kidding. Look at it. I mean, it's not hard to see what happened to this planet. Let's watch a few more frames. Now, see, now the crack opened right back up again, right there. Hold on a minute. And so this is great damage that's been done. Great damage. Don't let anybody fool you, my friends. Mars has received a cosmic, impact from comet pieces, or maybe the whole actual comet struck Mars. Once again, I'm angry with NASA because it's been all these weeks now, and they still have. I mean, it's been about 3 weeks now, and NASA still doesn't have anything to show us, because the worst that we possibly could have thought of actually happened. A lot of the equipment of NASA's that was on Mars, a lot of the equipment got destroyed. So they can't tell us anything. They're not going to tell us anything about it. There's more dust up in our stratosphere again. If you go and look up at the blue sky now, it's got that gray tint, that same gray tint that it had when Mars exploded last time, when Comet AGAINN went over us. And so now we're dealing with all that dust in our upper atmosphere again. So, my friends, be safe. Remember to research things for yourself, because NASA does not care about us, and neither does a lot of the people in Washington who shut down the government last time with AGAINN and went all the way underground, not telling any of us what was going on because they fear panic. It's just so sick, that every single year in the Midwest, towns and places and cities are destroyed by tornadoes. It's been a reoccurring destructive pattern for 100 years or more, and yet you don't hear of anybody going crazy and like messing up stuff because somebody put on the news, hey, there's going to be a tornado and it's going to tear stuff up. So they teach kids tornado drills, and they have families work tornado drills so they can be safe. But we can't even rely on a government or a project that gets billions of dollars a year to warn us about comets and meteors. Every single last one of them ought to be fired. All of them, and start over from scratch. It's sick the way that they treated us. I can't even believe it. And for them to think that people are this ignorant. Mars had a crack in the middle of it, like it was cracked open like an egg, my friends. That's what happened. Okay? There's a bunch of damage, a whole lot of stuff floating around out there in the atmosphere that we might have to spin through in our orbit, and they're not going to tell us one thing about it. I'm just telling you right now. Make up your minds for yourselves, my friends. I try to warn you about the real truth about Mars, no matter what all those astrophysicists, smart alecks, and what they've been hiding from you. I'm trying to show it to you. So feel free to leave comments, my friends. That's what my channel's for. Appreciate you. See you next time.